On a quiet day in April, the baseball world was shaken. A name that defined an era of consistency, loyalty, and quiet greatness, Garret Anderson, was suddenly gone. A World Series champion, a three-time All-Star, and the all-time hits leader of one of Major League Baseball's most iconic franchises. He was only 53 years old, and today we look back at the life, the legacy, and the sudden death of a player who never needed the spotlight to become a legend. This is the story of Garret Anderson. Garret Joseph Anderson was born on June 30th, 1972, in Los Angeles, California, United States. He grew up in a city where baseball dreams were everywhere, but only a few ever made it to the highest level. From an early age, Anderson showed signs of being special. At Kennedy High School in Granada Hills, he wasn't just a baseball player. He was a multi-sport athlete, playing baseball, football, and basketball. But baseball was different. It was where he stood out the most. Coaches described him as calm, focused, and extremely disciplined, qualities that would later define his professional career. Unlike many future stars, Garret Anderson was not loud, flashy, or attention-seeking. He was quiet talent, and that quiet talent would soon become his trademark. In 1990, the California Angels selected Garret Anderson in the 4th round of the MLB draft. It wasn't a headline-making pick at the time. No one predicted he would become a franchise legend. But Anderson kept improving step by step in the minor leagues, refining his hitting, building consistency, and proving he could handle pressure. Then came his big moment. On July 27, 1994, Garret Anderson made his major league debut, and from that moment, everything began to change. He wasn't an overnight superstar, but he was something more valuable. He was reliable. By 1995, Anderson became a regular starter. That season, he finished second in Rookie of the Year voting and immediately showed his potential as a future star. He hit for average, drove in runs, and rarely struck out compared to many power hitters of his era. But what made him different was his consistency. Over the next several seasons, Anderson quietly became one of the most dependable hitters in baseball. He was the type of player pitchers hated, facing in big moments. Not because he was the loudest power hitter, but because he always found a way to get the ball into the gaps. Doubles, line drives, RBI situation. That was his game. And by the early 2000s, he had become the backbone of the Angels lineup. The defining moment of Garret Anderson's career came in 2002. The Anaheim Angels were on a historic run, and Anderson was right in the middle of it. That postseason, he delivered clutch hit after clutch hit. In Game 7 of the World Series, he delivered one of the most important hits in franchise history, a bases-clearing double that helped seal the championship. The Angels defeated the San Francisco Giants and won their first-ever World Series title. For Garret Anderson, it was the peak of his career. He wasn't the loudest star on the team, but he was one of the most important. After the championship, Anderson continued performing at a high level. He became a 3-time All-Star and earned multiple Silver Slugger awards. In 2003, he had one of his best all-around seasons. He won the Home Run Derby and also became the All-Star Game Most Valuable Player. His career stats kept growing. Over 2,500 career hits, more than 280 home runs, over 1,300 runs batted in, a career batting average near 300. He also became the Angels' all-time leader in hits, doubles, and RBI categories. For nearly 2 decades, Garret Anderson was the definition of consistency. No drama, no controversy, just production. As the years passed, injuries began to slow him down. Chronic physical issues reduced his playing time, and his production declined. After spending most of his career with the Angels, he later had short stints with the Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Dodgers. Eventually, in March of 2011, Garret Anderson officially retired from Major League Baseball. Even after retirement, he remained respected in the baseball community and was later inducted into the Angels Hall of Fame in 2016. He had become a quiet symbol of loyalty and professionalism. On April 17, 2026, shocking news broke across the baseball world. Garret Anderson had died at the age of 53. Reports indicated he suffered a sudden medical emergency at his home in Newport Beach, California. The news spread quickly. Former teammates, fans, and organizations expressed disbelief and sorrow. The Los Angeles Angels released a statement honoring him as one of the most respected figures in franchise history. He was remembered not only for his numbers, but for his character, for his humility, for his quiet greatness. The official cause of death was reported as a sudden medical emergency. And just like that, one of baseball's most consistent legends was gone too soon. Garret Anderson may never have been the flashiest superstar of his era, but he was one of the most dependable hitters the game has ever seen. He represented an old-school style of baseball. Stay humble, stay consistent, let the game speak for itself. To Angels fans, he will always be a cornerstone of the 2002 championship team. And to baseball history, he will always be remembered as one of the quiet giants of the game. Garret Anderson's story is a reminder that greatness does not always need noise. Sometimes, greatness looks like consistency. Sometimes, it looks like loyalty. And sometimes, it looks like a player who shows up every day and simply gets the job done. Rest in peace, Garret Anderson, a legend of the game. Gone, but never forgotten.